This week, the boys are very lucky as Snutt Treptow, community manager for Coffee Stain Studios, joins them to talk all things publishing, the world of gaming, in games like Satisfactory and Valheim. Come along and have a listen. Let's get this blown on the chode. Let's take a deep breath and ram this podcast past the entertainment barrier. Welcome to Shart Select, the gaming podcast equivalent of having a chat with an awesome Swedish person. I am your inimitable host, Winstall, and I am joined from the darkest corners of the internet by Ryan. And from a place banned from being visited due to sanitary issues, it's Stu. Hello.
Oh yeah.
One thing I will say quick is apologies for the lack of content last week. We had a scheduling issue, but now we're back with the best episode ever. Let's get into it. And we are joined from afar by a guest. Guest, introduce yourself.
It me. My name is Snutt. I'm a community manager at Coffee Stain Studios. We're working on Satisfactory.
Yeah, these people thought that we were just lying, that we had someone from an actual game studio who's actually released games here. But yeah, who's laughing now?
The rumors do be true.
They do indeed. Yeah, we lured him in with great promises of tribute and gifts. And look, it worked. And Ryan's love of Satisfactory. You were drawn to it like a moth to a flame.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Just saying how much we've been simping over the game, and then it's like,
oh. Let it be known that Ryan never simps over anyone, even his lady wife. So this is quite the thing.
High praise.
It's a big thing.
High praise.
Indeed. So let's launch into some questions. Question one. Let's do it. So first of all, tell the listeners about yourself, your career history, and your time at Coffee Stain Studios.
Sure. It's I have a weird like story with my background or whatever, because I don't really have like a game development background. I came as a photographer originally. I studied music, and then I started working as a photographer because the music industry sucks. And then I worked for a photographer a while, and then I was just like, I gotta get a real job. So I started studying computer science. And while I was doing my master's in computer rendering specifically, I saw like a Facebook post on a like closed indie group, like indie game development, because I was really into game engines at the time. I wasn't necessarily into game development, but game engines were really interesting to me. So I saw a post about like, hey, we're doing some game stuff. Is anybody interested in doing some tool stuff? And I'm like, I'm interested. And it turned out, I thought it was just like a bunch of students like getting together doing something, but it turned out to be a job, and I just got it.
Nice.
So I ditched university and started working at a game company in Gothenburg, where I live, and I worked there for 4 years, where I jumped around a bit. So I was programmer, and then I was like level designer kind of, and then I was producer. Wow. And then I started working at Coffee Stain as a programmer because I really like Unreal Engine. I think Unreal Engine is dope, and we were using Unity, and I needed that shift. So I started working at Coffee Stain, and I was a programmer there. And then we were like, me and Jace have been doing stuff. Our other community manager have been doing stuff like when I was a programmer, because it's a lot of fun doing this kind of stuff that we do as community managers, making videos and making streams and do that stuff. So I've helped them out a lot when I was a programmer. And then we were looking for a community manager. And then for a long time, they were like, all right, let's just take Snutt, whatever, fuck it.
Hey, it was a good move. I've watched like a few of your videos, and yeah, really good. You guys have a good sort of energy, you and Jace.
Yeah.
So. Very much so.
Yeah,
One question I was going to ask.
Sorry, it's actually Juice Velvet.
Juice Velvet.
He has many names.
Yeah.
Juice Velvet. That's a hell of a name. I wish I had a name like that.
Yeah, that's one of them. We do. We have like at the introduction of our videos. There's like a nameplate at the bottom of the screen, and our editor Linus likes to fuck with us, so he switches out a name sometimes. We've been doing it since before, but he took it to the next level, so to speak.
I'm going to call myself
believe that's
from now
one of
on.
them.
I am now Liquid Silk from now on.
It all started from so when we announced Satisfactory, Jace was like in a bunch of articles where people interviewing us because we were on exclusive on Epic Store and that was a big deal, blah blah blah. And all the articles would fuck up his name. His name is Jace Varley, but they would write like Jace Valet or Jace Vorley and like stuff like that. So it became like a meme that we just like screw with his name all the time, and it's lived on since.
It takes 2 seconds to double check something, doesn't it, before you put it in the article? So yeah. I was going to ask, what kind of music were you sort of creating early on then before you got into gaming?
It's hard to say. I like a lot of music. I used to play a lot of progressive rock.
Oh, nice.
And that was like my main instrument is guitar, and I guess it's shifted a bit now to piano. But those were my 2 main instruments. But I was in a lot of bands. I mostly released progressive rock. I was in a band called Flitwick.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's. But I do like a lot of music. There's like, as long as it's done in a good way, there's really no music that I can't listen to unless it's hip hop. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I think everyone's got that one genre. It's like I can't really be doing this. My genre I can't listen to is Ed Sheeran. He's definitely a genre. Oh man, that's like I hear him come on. It's like no, get it off.
Oh wow.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
But it can't just be me, right?
I really like Ed Sheeran.
Oh, right. To be fair,
But,
it must just be because he was on the radio every 20 seconds a couple of years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, exactly. Because there's a lot of bands I used to really like, and then we started playing them all the time, and then I'm just like, Like Gautier is a good example of that because I listened to Gautier before he quote unquote got really really famous, and I loved that album. And then they played Somebody I Used to Know on the radio non-stop, and I'm so tired of that song.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like that's the one that sounds like Bar Bar Black Sheep, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of.
Bar Bar Black Sheep with different words to it. That's the one. I know the one you mean. So okay, all right. So moving on to the next question. What's your favourite video game and your favourite video games console?
Jeez, I got this question. I was doing a Q&A on Instagram, and I got this question, and I got like stuck on this question because it's really difficult to nail down like what your favorite game is. But the answer I gave then was the game I play the most right now is Rocket League. I play at that game obsessively. But I think the game where I have like the fondest memory from is Super Metroid. And that's a game I still play to this day sometimes. I used to speedrun it, and
oh wow.
I think that would be my favorite pick.
Yeah, those games are really difficult. I'm terrible at both.
Yeah, especially Rocket League because you just fumble around. But it's really hard because it really shifts a lot. Because I remember a few years ago, like God of War was like my favorite game for a time, and then I was like, now I forgot about it. So it's really hard to say. And right now I'm playing Hitman a lot, the 3rd installment.
Hitman's so good.
Yeah,
Hitman's so good.
It's so good.
I spent hours of my life playing Hitman, so I can sympathise with you on that one.
Yeah, I'm 100%ing it. I did with the first and second game, and I know that they like reset the escalation contracts, so you have to redo them again. No. But I'm gonna get that 100%. Check
amazing.
mark.
Yeah,
I love that game.
That's pretty good going. So, your favourite console then?
You're allowed to say PC.
PC. Like I can't. I'll say that I'm a huge stan for PlayStation. Like I've really liked. Like I grew up with PlayStation more so than Nintendo, I'd say. Like I used to play with, like I grew up on the NES era, so that's how much of a boomer I am. But I liked when PlayStation 1 came out. I've switched to PlayStation completely, and I have very fond memories of PlayStation. I've also worked with Sony Interactive and they've been like really, really nice people. Like I have nothing but praise for Sony, at least in the European section of it. But yeah, so I'm a PlayStation boy.
Nah, fair enough. I mean, Ryan is our resident PC Master Race guy, so he'll always
I
try
mean,
to
I
get
am too. Like, there's nothing beats PC, but if I had to pick a console, then I'd pick that.
No, that's fair. There you go, then, Ryan. Someone in your camp there.
There you go. Yes, it's the future. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So, Ryan, I believe you have a question next.
Yeah, it's probably just an Easter egg, but you know, I'm not taking credit for this. I didn't see it. I saw it on a post on the Reddit of Satisfactory. But the latest update 4 video that came out either yesterday or the day before. There's a single frame of you and Jason walking at 29. Yeah, I did not watch it that often to see it, but yeah, what's all that about?
Yeah, blinking you miss it. Well, you'll find out in 2 weeks or 1 week when the March 16th when the game comes out. That frame alludes to something that's missing in that video, in that teaser video, and it's something that's going to be revealed in the video that frame is from.
Get on it, Ryan. See if you can work it out.
Yeah, no.
Mystery. It'll make sense once the patch notes video comes out on March 16th.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry, we're not prying here for spoilers or anything.
Yeah.
But if you do want to give it to us,
if you were, I can send you my PayPal and maybe
slip you a Ben Franklin.
There. Yeah.
Me and my friend Ben Franklin, or a euro. Who's on the euro these days? I don't know.
Everyone. This is a hot jam.
A little picture of everyone on the euro. No, exactly.
No, but that's a frame from the patch notes video. I can tell you that much. So that's a video that's coming.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Keep my eyes posted. I am subscribed to the YouTube, so I do get the notifications.
Oh, nice. You gotta ring that bell.
Exactly. Yeah. I've rung that bell.
Subscribe.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I love it.
This sounds like some kind of strange. Sounds like some kind of strange innuendo, doesn't it? Right for ringing his bell, watching YouTube videos.
God, I love that like meme or whatever. Where it's like, don't forget to subscribe and hit that ring ding bell. Do it for the algorithm.
Yeah, please save us from the YouTube algorithm.
Oh, so good.
Don't get me caught on YouTube. So I've got Ryan. Did you want to ask some questions?
Yeah, I got some more questions. So I know like Coffee Stain's publishing is different sort of studio.
Yes.
But we've got to talk quickly about Valheim. So I've only got like 1 or 2 questions because obviously I mainly want to talk about Satisfactory.
Yeah. Let's see if I can answer them.
That's fine. So obviously Valheim is recently just sold
I've heard of
5 million copies.
Yeah.
It's like, when you saw it, did you foresee it as being as popular as it will be, as it has been?
No. Well, I guess a little bit of like disclaimer too is that Valheim is made by Iron Gate, so it's a completely different studio, and we don't have like any interaction with them really, so we don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we publish a few games. It's the same thing with Deep Rock. Like we have no interaction really with the people in Denmark making Deep Rock from Ghost Games. But I did know of Richard, who made most part of Valheim. He's like the original creator. I've been following it on Twitter actually before we even signed with them. So I knew about that game before we even signed with them. But no, I had no idea. Like I had played Valheim before. Like I played the closed alpha, whatever, because we have access to the game and whatnot. And I had a lot of hours in it, so I knew it was a good game. Like I knew it was gonna be good. It was good. Like at the point when we signed with them, like but I did not foresee it being, the next Minecraft good. You know what I mean? Because it is like, it's pretty new how like no other indie game to this degree have sold this quickly. Apart from
really
like
good.
Minecraft and the other one, I can't remember. But like, there was like more people playing it, more concurrent users than GTA playing that game when it
Nice.
launched. And
Now,
stuff
that's
like
a
that.
boast.
Yeah, that is good. That.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
insane to see
to be fair,
how big it is.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how sort of hands off the publishers are with the developers. That's something I've never really considered before.
Yeah.
Like you say, obviously, Coffee Stain published, but they're not really that sort of hands on.
I say that, but it varies from publisher to publisher. Like we tend to be more, we tend to invest more than, publish. Like we're not really, like we'll have input on stuff in development, but we don't really want to. Like if we see a game in a studio that like you're doing cool stuff, we don't want to like start to ruin that, like it's probably
dictate.
good because what you did, and it's probably not something that we necessarily know of. Publishing comes in with like the input of like, okay, how do we reach a bigger audience with it? So like
That's
one
really
thing,
good.
yeah. So like the only thing I know really like is how since publishing took over the publishing part of that, like the Valheim got like twice as many wish lists every day, and we managed to get them on E3. So like that's more what publishing does. But it's so hard. Like, a lot of people also ask me about like what do you think made it successful, and it's like I don't think people at publishing even know. Like sometimes it's luck. Sometimes like we can only do so much. Like because our strategy for Valheim wasn't really that different than, as far as I know at least, wasn't that different than any other game we published. So
He just got picked up by the masses.
yeah.
Sometimes it's just like it's just fit a niche window at the right
Yeah.
time, and then everyone's picked up on it.
Yeah, I think it comes down to how good, how entertaining you can make the stream for it as well.
Yeah, true. If it's like a Fall Guys and Among Us and games like that, yeah.
Yeah, but all the credit to Rickard and his team because they made an awesome game. It's really fun.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say hopefully it'll, if it's not already, appear on Xbox at some point, and I'll have a go at that. Sounds good. I've not got a PC. I am 100% console boy. I'm ashamed to admit with all these PC master races around.
That's all right. So long as we all play games, then we're all good.
Yeah, and what I will say from what you've just said there is, get publishers like EA. That's how you should publish a game. Stop meddling and putting crap in them.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Ryan, any more questions from your good self?
Yeah. So, as of July last year, there was a video from Jace just about the sold figures of Satisfactory at 1.3 million as of then. Do you have any more up-to-date figures you can share with us?
I don't know actually. Like that's also publishing dealing with that.
Yeah.
The trope is that we've sold 9 copies, but or that's what we. This is so funny. When we launched on Epic, we trolled on our Twitter account, said we only sold 9 copies because we're Epic exclusive. They were legit news medias that believed that, and like there were blog posts about how obviously Epic Games is bad because they only sold 9 copies, and we're just like, oh my god, did they actually believe this?
It was just a joke.
It's insane. But yeah, I don't know actually what our current sales is.
So maybe 13 then now, or something like that.
I actually have no clue. I think we're gonna say something at some point. We were talking about that, but I don't know when that will happen.
That's just curious, really. Right.
Yeah, like I'm curious now
Especially
too.
since obviously it's available on Steam as well now.
Yeah,
And
we sold pretty well on Steam too in the first
It's a
3 months.
It's a bigger market, isn't it, for Steam?
Yeah. It's so funny because like when you talk about Valheim, like they sold 5 million in like 11 days or whatever. Like that's an insane number. I love how people always compare when it's like because we've sold more than 1 million total, I think, and that's really good. That's really good compared to like a lot of games. But we're just so focused on like the big hits to forget about how like 1 million sold copies is an insane amount of copies sold for a game studio.
It makes me think back to when they did like the Tomb Raider reboot, and it's like, oh my god, it only sold 10 million copies.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah.
even going to bother releasing a sequel. What's the point? It's
Yeah,
like,
it's
that's loads.
Well, it's the same with like Cyberpunk, wasn't it? They sold so many pre-orders that they'd made their budget before the game had come out.
Yeah.
So they'd made money on it before it was even out. So if it's terrible, they've made all the money they invested into it already anyway.
Yeah,
I guess, yeah, because that's another aspect too. Like some games where like they invest so much money in it, they need to sell 10 million for it to be profitable in that sense. But it's really complicated. Like game investment it's such a huge area. It's so hard to like understand all the issues with it, and like all the like when a game is profitable for some studios, because you have no idea what complicated contracts they have for investment. Like I've tried to understand Cyberpunk's like investment model, and it's weird. Like I don't fully understand it. Like they have so many stockholders with that game, so it's not just like CD Projekt Red that are making money of it. It's so many different companies, and they all have like it's like 1 billion chefs in the kitchen. Yeah. So it's really it's a weird business sometimes. I'm happy that we just have for Satisfactory that it's just us. We have Embracer owns Coffee Stain, but like they don't also really meddle much with us. So it's kind of nice to not have to like cater to a bunch of stock holders like that for our game.
You've got more freedom, I suppose, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, Ryan, just to cut in.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I was just thinking that just on that question. Obviously.
Yeah.
Coffee Stain has been acquired by THQ Nordic.
No, we were
was that?
acquired. So this is also a bit confusing because they had similar names. So we've been acquired by Embracer. That's the big company that owns all the companies. THQ Nordic is part of Embracer.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're in Vienna. But the confusion came from the fact that THQ. What are they called? THQ? They had the same name essentially. Like THQ, which is now Embracer, used to be called THQ, and they also own THQ. You see, like it's called like THQ Vienna or something is the name of that. They were the ones who did the HN Q&A thing, if you guys remember that.
Oh yeah.
They had like a AMA on HN. It was funny.
If I remember correctly, then it was is it THQ Nordic was another company, wasn't it, that rebranded to that in order to keep the THQ name for sales purposes.
Yeah,
Can't remember what the studio was.
Yeah, so Embracer are the ones like that. That's like a holding company, whereas THQ Nordic is a publishing company. And we're not owned by THQ Nordic; we're owned by Embracer. So THQ Nordic is like a sibling company, I guess, to us, something like that.
Learning all sorts there. Learning all sorts today.
Yeah. But we don't have, I've never interacted with anyone from THQ Nordic, so I have no idea what they're doing.
Like distant relatives when you have a big family party. And you're like...
Yeah. Embracer has a lot of companies, so we only talk to like some people at Embracer. So
I wonder if THQ Nordic used to be Deep Silver. I know they were very involved with them, weren't they?
I don't know either. I think Deep Silver is also another like. Because it's
what was it? Vigil or something like that. Vigil Games.
There's loads, isn't there? Now we're thinking Volatile.
It was the same one that did Darksiders, I think. That was. I don't know.
Was that Deep Silver?
Yeah. No, I think that was Vigil.
Oh, okay.
Vigil with a little raven on it. I can't remember.
There's so many games companies now. It's like, which one was it? I'm trying to think
it's really confusing. Okay, so I just googled this. So Deep Silver is owned by Koch Media or Koch. I never know how to pronounce it. It's a German parent organization, and that is owned by Embracer. So
there we go. Then it's all a web.
So I guess they're also a sibling company to some degree. Not quite sure.
When I was a boy, there was just Sega and Nintendo.
My dad works at Nintendo.
Yeah, oh god, yeah. Every no matter where you are in the world, there's always a kid that made that statement. My dad works at Nintendo. Yeah. My dad designed Duck Hunt. It's like, no, he didn't. Shut up. Especially in the UK where everyone played Segas.
I remember in high school one time, some guy was bragging that his dad worked for PlayStation. He had a PlayStation 3, and this is when the
Ooh.
PlayStation 1 had only just come out.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
He's good. That's quite the flex.
That is quite the flex.
You might know, Craig. It's the same guy that flexed about creating the Thing game.
Oh yeah, he made the movie tie for The Thing for Capcom and set it to them on a floppy disk, didn't he?
Yeah, but it got corrupted.
Wow.
It got corrupted though, didn't it? So.
Well, if
couldn't
you tried to
use it.
store a whole PS2 game on a 3.5 inch bloody floppy disk, it would do, wouldn't it?
I'd buy that.
Yeah, let's do it. All I need is a floppy drive.
Yeah.
Don't think anything even else them anymore, does it?
I'm sure they do somewhere.
Imagine you
Ancient
need like 100 floppy disks to play it.
Yeah.
Each level is a different floppy disk as you go through the rooms.
Not even that. Each room will be a different floppy disk, won't it?
Yeah.
All right, Ryan. What else have you got for us in the land of satisfaction?
So, when did the initial development start for Satisfactory? Like, where did the idea come from?
I think it was I wasn't around at that time. I was hired afterwards, but I think it was 2016, something like that. Coffee Stain had been working on Goat Simulator for a few years, and they were they stopped development for Goat Sim, and then Coffee Stain North, there was another sibling company to us, did a few DLC or the last DLC or something like that. And took over that thing while Coffee Stain started working on other games. And what we did was we did a game jam, and where people worked on a bunch of games, and then some people made the prototype that would then become Satisfactory, and everyone just loved that game prototype, and the rest is history.
Say, I've seen it played. I've seen Ryan play it with great love in his eyes. It looks so sort of in depth. I love it. So I can see why people would have enjoyed that.
I don't.
mean, but
No, I'm kidding.
it's a bit of a change from when you look at Goat Simulator. And
Yeah, it is.
Satisfactory.
But to be fair, before Coffee Stain made Goat Sim, Coffee Stain made Sanctum, which is also very different to Goat Sim. Which is like a what's it called? Third-person tower defense game.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were all the rage. They were all the rage. Those tower defense games.
But I'll agree with that. It is weird going from Goat Sim to Satisfactory. It's a very different genre.
I think going to or from Goat Sim in any direction is a bit weird. It's
Yeah.
such a unique, crazy game, isn't it? The goat with a big lashy tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You can only go up.
Yeah. Why is there no goats in Satisfactory?
Oh, there is.
There's the lizard doggos, but.
Oh, there is actually. There's an Easter egg to Goat Sim in Satisfactory.
Oh, is
Get
it?
looking, Ryan.
Yeah.
Get looking.
Dun dun dun.
That's just reminded me, actually. What's with the giant egg in the north?
Giant egg. I don't know actually.
Oh, right. Well, whatever it is, I built a wall around it.
Just in case it
Yeah.
hatches.
Yeah.
Ryan's
I-
very cautious.
I have no clue. It's probably our level designer Hannah is probably the one that knows the story behind that. She probably put that there.
Hatches and the giant goat comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, I would hide so many things if I was a level designer.
Yeah, she has hidden a lot of
I know.
things. Like there's so many things that I don't think people have discovered yet either.
It'd be like
It's a
10
big
years
map,
or something. Isn't it?
so.
It is a huge map. I don't understand how we've managed to make such a big because it's really huge and we're still working on it. Like there's still so much work left on it. There's a bunch of work in progress areas on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally unplayable when I see a floating tree.
A
deal with
little
it.
floating rock.
Yeah, that's it. It's like,
Yeah.
Ryan sees it. His hands go on his hips, and he just does one tut like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just cut it down, and it wasn't even there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game
Never
is in
saw
early
it.
access, so that's why.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean-
Ryan, God.
I know, but know. So
No, we
speaking
feel
of,
the same way when we see it.
I bet Hannah does as well, though. Like, if it's there, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
floating
I have to
tree.
go and get that tree now.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, it is early access, but it's really high quality early access. Like, and you get even with like the experimental game mode, that's like early access that you play
Right.
as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I first picked up to play it, I thought, oh, it's early access. I'll be done with it fairly soon. And like, I'm like 270 hours in on my first on one
Jeez.
save, and then like 45 on a second save. So it's a lot of
Right.
hours for early
Yes.
access. But like, so
we didn't really, and like I think the reason why is because we didn't really intend to release it as early access. We were working towards the vision that we were going to release it. And sort of during development, we were like not closing in because given how like they're still like when we released that game, we've been working on it for 2 years since, and we still feel like there's a few years left of development. So I don't understand how we possibly could have thought that we would be finishing the vision that we had back then. But it was intended to not be released as early access, and then we kind of like shifted towards we can do more with it if people like it, and then we can release it as early access now and see how the reception for it is, because we really didn't know how people would like take Satisfactory, because it is a niche genre, and people were always like, yeah, but you got so much interest from the E3 trailer and blah blah blah, like that doesn't always translate to sales. That's partly why we did the Epic exclusivity thing, because you never know, like you never know what happens. But it was well received, and we were really happy about that, and that meant that we could work on more, like make more out of Satisfactory than we anticipated. So like, I mean, the vision. Sorry.
Let's just say I downloaded Epic to get Satisfactory.
Oh, that's dedication.
So does doing the early access model change the game as it? So what I'm trying to say. So is Satisfactory different now than it was envisioned when you're going to do it as a standard release?
Yes, because when we were anticipating a standard release, then we wouldn't have been able to do pipes, and we wouldn't have been able to do like all the crazy stuff that's coming in Update 4, and the subsequential updates. Like there were a few things that were like we have to, like we were always wanted, like we have to have mod support, and we have to have like dedicated servers, all that jazz. But that was sort of like that was gonna be it essentially. Like there weren't like much more, like in comparison to what the game is right now than what we wanted it to be. Like there's so much that we added, because we have like a big backlog of things that we want to add to the game, and we know that we're not going to be able to add everything. Partly also because we don't want to work on this game for forever. We want to move on at some point, because we can work on this game for like 10 more years, I think.
Wow.
Because there's a huge backlog of stuff that we want to do. But like that's the thing with releasing games. Like you have to say stop at some point. The game is finished when you say it is, you know.
Yeah.
Or when you sorry, the quote is the game is finished when you release it. Is the
yeah, it's done now. A step away.
Yeah.
Do you find that the community's given you a lot of ideas themselves?
Yes and no, because I get this question a lot too. A lot of times when we see mods and stuff, it's for things that we've already like thought about. Because we've worked on this game for what, 5 years or something, or 5 years before we released it. I can't remember, but we've like, we've had people that their entire job is to sit and think about this stuff every day for like 3 years or 4 years or whatever when it was development, and think of like new directions to take the game and things we can add to it, and community's kind of like catching up to us with those ideas, but there's still like very few cases where like we see a mod that we're like, we did not think of that at all. It happens, but it's rarer than I think people think. But that's
Yeah,
just because
makes
the fact
sense.
that we've been literally sitting and thinking about this for a lot of years before we even launched it.
Yeah.
But there are a bunch of mods. It's really good too because there are a lot of mods that implement ideas that we were thinking about doing, and then we're like, it totally didn't work. Like we didn't like that, or that totally works. We should maybe think about adding that to the game, or actually, pursuing adding it to the game, which has happened a few times. Which is a little bit sad for the people that make that mod because that mod becomes obsolete. But it makes for a better game for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. At least they can say that they helped inspire it.
Yeah, they help. Certainly, some cases they certainly helped us like confirm our theories because game development is all about you can have a lot of ideas, but once you actually start putting them into the game, you realize like this is actually kind of shit. Like it might sound good on paper, but once you realize, because that's the thing I don't think a lot of people realize with game development or game design specifically is that there's just adding a small thing can have huge implications on the entire game that you don't realize necessarily just how complex it can be until you try it out yourself. And that's kind of annoying too because sometimes you can't like visualize like what if we had this? It's gonna be dope, and then you spend like 2 months implementing it, and you realize it wasn't kind of dope. It kind of sucked because it ruined this aspect of the game.
Yeah,
Think
so it's balance.
Yeah. I think your perfect example for that was when I think Jace was doing an update video about it for standing lighting for your factory at night, and then all the different shadows and lighting effects it has all over the factory for your nighttime. It was just like too heavy on the frames and everything.
Yeah,
to get it
it's
all right.
very. That's something that we saw from mod they made, but it's kind of unfair to say it because of that mod because mods also add a little bit of overhead to the game by itself. But yeah, it just adds a ton of performance issues. But we are gonna add lights at some point, I think. I mean, we want to. We just have to figure out a good way of doing it so that it's still kind of performant.
Especially with like the freedom of obviously you can place it wherever you want, so you just know someone's going to make a wall full of lights, and it's just
Yeah.
really
Someone
taxing,
will
and then they'll
start to
just
break
complain
it.
saying, "Oh, the game's rubbish because it can't handle this lighting." And you're like,
Yeah.
"Well, how many lights do you want to put there?"
Exactly.
Like,
So speaking of ideas, I have some things I'm going to tell you that you should definitely put in. The game.
This is Ryan's time now. He's been waiting for this.
And then I expect them for the update 4.
Wow. Doesn't demand much, does it?
Yeah.
These are probably ones you've probably thought about already, but while you're talking to someone that works there, why not share some ideas? So I thought these are ones they're mostly just quality of life, but there's a couple of things that I'd like to see. So a survey drone, like you could control to have a little fly around to have a look where the like ores might be. Just fly up and have a look around. Or the one that you could use to send stuff back to your base. Like if the image is full and you're out exploring, put it on there and it'll fly it back to your base for you.
Right.
Ryan's drone.
Yeah.
Little drone.
But the thing I want the most is first-person hypertubes.
Oh. We
Don't
actually.
know why, but yeah.
So the reason why we didn't do first-person hypertube is because it becomes a barf simulator. Where we did that.
You can have it as a choice, though.
Yeah, we could. We might in the future. I don't know. What
Just
the
for
ideas
Ryan.
are there.
Yeah, just credit
for
me.
Ryan.
Just credit me at the bottom. It's fine.
I think the one other problem was that the camera became weird because the perspective, like things that are close to you, you kind of need more depth of field for the perspective to work, and it caused like some issues with the clipping thingamajig.
Yeah.
Because the thing about that too, because the camera is like not moving 1-to-1 with the player when you're moving in hypertubes. It's like following you, right? So when you're turning and twisting, we had to do it so that the camera doesn't like instantly like stick to you, because that also adds 10 times Barf City. So the camera more reacts to what's happening more so than sticking with it.
Especially that you can make it like really tight bends.
Yeah.
Here's a couple of more ideas. I'd love to see like a huge tank track vehicle.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why we haven't done anything with vehicles is because vehicles are buggy, and they're also very heavy. So we've been scared of touching that system because we need to rework the entire system essentially for vehicles.
I mean, the Explorer's fine, but I just like the idea of a massive like tank thing rolling through.
Yeah, it's not impossible that we add that in the future. We just that's also the thing with early access. Like we can't work on everything at the same time. We have to like take kind of chunks sometimes and work on different systems. That's also kind of why trains haven't been updated in so long. We've been wanting to do like collisioning and signaling system for trains, but we have to rework how vehicles work entirely in the game, kind of. So we can't work because like if we start working on trains now, we're gonna need to rework trains later. But that's one of the things where like potentially when we start working on vehicles again, we might add that.
See, I think, just as an extra thought for Ryan's tank track vehicle, instead of a grill on the front, just have a big picture of Ryan's face and call it Tracked Ryan. Just go all the way with it. Just Ryan's face thundering across the map whilst he builds factories.
Nice.
An open mouth that you can just take all the take all the
Like a harvester.
trees in.
Yeah, because that's actually something that we're thinking of adding more like not customization but like attachments to vehicles and stuff like that. And that is one of the ideas we have, to have like the tractor be like a lawnmower
Like agriculture,
type. Yeah.
Like Command and Conquer.
Yeah.
I'd love to see as well, obviously, just speaking of vehicles, but I'm not too sure myself, but maybe like a little motorcycle thing.
Oh.
Zipping about,
Yeah. But it can never be better than the factory cart.
I know, yeah. But that's what I mean. You could be like the factory cart, but work dirt rather than just foundations.
It's like a bobby car, if you know what that is. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
It's like a little, maybe it was a Swedish thing, but it's like a little play vehicle, like small little car that you kick. It's like a kick bike.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, something like that then. Yeah, that'd be ideal for Ryan. He'd love it. Again, with Ryan's face on the front, he's very egotistical.
Oh, yeah. If we add any of these, then we have to add Ryan's face to it. It's a
either that or I could be the spokes on the wheels. So
What?
Little face get like more nauseous as you're speeding up.
Yeah.
Or maybe it could be like spinners on Pimp My Ride, just Ryan's face.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. Pimp my vehicles.
And then just 3 more. So.
I have 15 more here on my list. There, just
Yeah. But these are definitely quality of life, maybe.
Yeah.
So mass build foundations like by area, so you can click it and then go up and then across, and then click and then it'll build a 5x5 area of wall or foundation for you.
Yeah.
Rather than like clicking. You've probably already thought of this. Like
somewhat requested feature.
Yeah, I know.
You can't put your face on that one, Ryan.
No, I know. Vertical splitters and mergers, like the inputs on the top or bottom.
I've been wanting
and
that
then,
too, sort of.
Another idea, because obviously it is the same map each time you play. What about randomized ores for different playthroughs? So it might have been iron last time, but this time it's Cater and ore.
Yeah, that's also something we've been thinking of doing. The way the reason why it's done the way it is right now is because the game is balanced for like when you're first time playing the game. The starting areas have like or like the nodes are placed in such a way that it becomes convenient for you to set up the factory lines that you need. But it would be cool to have like a separate mode where like the nodes would randomize, or if they could pop up anywhere, it'd be neat. If anything, I hope someone makes a mod for it.
Yeah, like iron, like you start and iron's just like the other side of the map. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I expect all of those.
And your name in the credits.
Yeah, credited. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you go over to our questions site, QA site, questions.satisfactory.com, you can submit your feedback to our game, and then you can upload other That's the generic answer you get from that. I can't.
It's fine. I don't
I
expect.
can't. I
you
can
to.
say though, because I just like discussing it with people, or like it might be interesting. The quick build foundation thing is something that we also kind of want, but it's also something that we're scared of adding because it really changes how the game is played. Right now, it's kind of like the same reasoning with Minecraft. Like if you could auto build in Minecraft, it wouldn't be Minecraft anymore. And that's kind of what we're scared about with Satisfactory, is that adding too many like quick build things, because like then if you can quick build foundations, why can't you quick build buildings is the next question, you know?
Yeah, 5x5 building, click.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's something that we definitely hear and see, that concern or like that issue with the game. And the thing is, like, sometimes that solution might seem like the obvious, like that's the solution for it, but the issue might just be that it's too slow to build stuff, and it's too cumbersome, you know, to set up foundation lines, and like maybe the way you build foundations need to change, and then if we do that, then we both get what we want. You know what I mean? So it's that's why we haven't like, you know, said anything or done anything with it, is because we're trying to figure out like what is the actual problem, and is there a solution that doesn't ruin the fun of the game or make it like too automated in the sense that how you play it, if you know what I mean. Like if a player can't optimize away the fun, they will do it, is a saying in game design. And that's something that we have to be like careful with. But I think we're gonna solve that problem at some point. I just don't know exactly what the solution will be. If it will be like the smart mod, if you've seen that, where you can drag foundations, if that is the solution,
that's
or
the sort of thing I meant, like, you know. Like,
yeah. So we'll see what we land on, but I think we're gonna find a solution to it at some point, I think.
I mean, I did have one more suggestion, but I can't see it coming either. It was.
Then it's the best one.
Yeah, it was. You know, Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
It was Go Gadget legs. So rather than pillaring up on the stackable conveyor belt, I can't remember what they're called now. The stackable conveyor belt things, whatever they are.
I think they're called stackable conveyor belts, or the poles maybe. The stackable conveyor poles.
Yeah. One with the ladders on the sides. So I use them to pillar up if I need to walk anywhere, or I'll just build a little conveyor belt and then run up it.
Yeah.
Like Go Gadget legs.
Yeah.
Just away it goes. Up you go with your little legs, so you can have a look, and then go back down again.
It's potentially like that's another good example of there may be something else coming that will solve that problem, but it's not specifically that solution.
It's not far off, Ryan.
I guess
it's
we'll
not
see.
the thing that you leaked on stream, was it?
No. Wait, what did I leak on stream? Oh, the zip line?
The zip line, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's something else.
Zip lines sounds fun.
Oh, nice.
Zip lines are always fun.
Yeah, the zip lines are fun.
So obviously you know what I'd like to see, but what would you like to see? Obviously, spoiler free if something's coming.
Yeah,
and just to elaborate on that as well, is there anything that was caught that you were like, oh, that's a shame?
What do you mean?
That you can talk about.
Or a feature that was cut that you...
Yeah, like...
Oh, a cut. Oh, now it's seeming to me. Okay. I thought you meant what you mentioned. Okay. So the thing I would like to see the most... God, I can't... So currently I'm working on making like in-game footage for the trailers that we're going to put out. So I'm playing the game a lot right now, and... I think the thing that annoys me right now the most is like how the guidelines, we call them, like the green lines that show up when you're building stuff. There's just like so many cases where snapping and when you're building foundations, how it's not like foreseeing the placement. You have to point it at the previous foundation for it to connect through the other one. Like it's small things like that that kind of annoy me that we haven't solved yet, because that will make building so much better and so much faster when you're used to the game, because people have learned people that are fast at building in our game, they've like adapted to the finicky systems that we have, and they're like really fast at like, people can run and build foundations really quickly. I can't do that. So it's stuff like that. It's kind of hard to like pinpoint one specific thing in that area, but it's just like the way that connectivity is, like how you connect things and how you build things. It's just stuff like that annoys me a bit. And a cut feature. Let's see. There's not that many features that we've cut that I was like, oh, they should. Like, if there's a feature that we think we should add, we're definitely gonna do it. So I don't think there's a feature that we cut that I was like disappointed with. So I don't know if I have an answer for that question.
Well, no, that's fine.
That's fair enough. Yeah. Sounds like
So speaking of which, then, what about half-sized foundations?
Yeah,
Double-sized.
I would love that too.
Because I think is it the assembler that's like just over a foundation wide.
Yeah.
It's like you can't quite fit it in a build unless you you have to have an odd number to fit them in. Especially if you go in straight from constructors into it.
Yeah,
it's quite fit.
it's finicky. Especially now that I'm working. Yeah, like I said, I'm working on in-game stuff, and I want it to look like super pretty. So you have to like space out assemblers specifically so that they even out on a certain foundation grid, and then the ratio becomes weird because it's like an odd amount of assemblers. So it's I feel ya. I do.
Yeah,
especially
when you're trying to build
it all perfect.
Yeah, build that perfect factory. It's like, God damn it, that's not even.
Yeah. And there's also a few cases where some of the outputs and inputs are like on the side of the buildings, so it becomes hard to like make symmetrical conveyor lines and stuff like that. Like if you have coal generators and you want to like align them so that they're facing each other, then the water and the conveyor belt inputs will be off by each other. So you can't like make one water line and then have it just symmetrically go into each, unless you offset the buildings, which is also weird. So there's a lot of that in our game, but it's also like a part of the fun is trying to figure out like solutions that you'd like and that are pleasing to the eye, sort of. But it takes a lot of time.
It does. I remember update 3 and nuclear. In fact, when the nuclear power plants now needed water.
Yeah.
I had to build a huge pipeline to go to where I'd built my my nuclear power stations.
Yeah.
And then in the end, I just moved the nuclear power to the water and then sent everything that was being produced where they were all the way across.
Yeah.
And I haven't done anything else with it. I've just left it like that.
Yeah. And now you're going to have to redo it again because update 4 changes how nuclear is made. Or I guess you won't really need to change the power plants maybe, but you'll need to change the production lines for them.
Yeah, I saw the trailer and I was like, again?
Yeah. It is, I will say this, because this is something that a lot of people are discussing around. There's another aspect to this too, that power is now not self-contained. Like the power plants will always produce maximum amount of power. This is something that is kind of split in the community. I really like it after playing with it because it makes, because like one issue that I found when I was setting up a lot of power plants is that you don't know until you consume max power whether or not you've made an efficient setup. Whereas now you get instant feedback on this, and I really dig that. And it made me realize I've been setting up power plants incorrectly.
Quality of life.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
I think it'd be better with on max power, then you can see like how many you're gonna need.
Yeah.
Rather than guesswork or like being on shore or something.
There's also other aspects that we haven't revealed yet that also makes sense why it's made this way, but yeah, I think it's
big
better.
things coming, Ryan. Big things coming.
I know. I've got 9 days. It's fine.
Yeah.
9 days.
9 days to back up my save and get as many resources as possible.
Yeah.
Ryan's excitement. He's going to miss work. He's going to miss eating and drinking. He's just going to be sat there like a little old hermit at his desk. Must get the resources before it releases.
Pictures of his face on car wheels and on the fronts of cars and stuff.
Yeah. Ryan's literally going to start trying to mod it himself.
I mean, it's
pictures of himself.
Certainly possible. There's an I don't know whether you guys know, but there's an arachnophobia mode If you turn it
Okay.
on, it turns the spider enemies to a picture of Jace that comes at you.
Oh,
instead.
nice.
No, Jay, well, it's picture of cats.
Oh, cats. Yeah, so there's
Yeah.
a mod that changes it to Jace.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Brilliant.
it's a picture of cats, and the mod changes it to Jace's face.
Oh,
Yeah.
so funny.
So just
Not
change
that
it
I've
to you then,
downloaded the
Ryan.
mod.
Then you're in the game, Ryan. If you can mod that, your dream comes true.
Yeah.
All right. So, Ryan, do we have any more satisfactory questions, or shall we move on to the satisfactory softball questions for the end of the interview?
No, I've got a question.
Yeah.
Ooh, Stu's got a question. Go on, Stu.
Ooh.
Are there any plans for a console port, or is it just going to stay on PC for now?
We don't have any plans right now, but we aren't like against a console port. The issue is really like performance and the interactions are weird. Like we haven't optimized the game for controller or like made the game
Yeah.
for controller yet. We sort of, like I said before, we weren't gonna make it early access in the beginning, so we started working on control support, and then when we decided to go with the early access route, we just ditched like the implementation as it was because we would have to redo it constantly every time we change anything. And there's a few interaction changes that I think still coming, so we haven't like thought of solutions to that yet. But we're not against it. We just haven't planned it yet. I think we're at least need to get out of early access before we can even consider doing a console port.
Yeah, I've got a Series X, which would just love to have that game running on it. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's something we need to look forward to.
And that's something else. Like I don't think we're gonna aim at all for like PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, like that a generation of console at all. If we make it.
It's two next gen. Damn it! It has to be on the new ones.
I don't think the game will be possible to run on those consoles. To be
No.
honest. Yeah.
No, it's fair enough. My PS4 was on its deathbed just before I got my new Xbox, so it was having trouble running most things. Bless it, by the end. So yeah. But that's understandable. All right.
There was one more satisfactory question.
Oh, go on then.
So finally, what is the best contraption or factory that you've seen made by a player or yourself? Or anything that comes to mind.
That's like picking your favorite child. Jesus, that's really hard to answer. A few that comes to mind is like Kibitz and Amelie of the Sea is a streamer. They made really cool factories for very different reasons. Kibitz's factory is very like efficient and like it's very dense and has like a lot of cool things. Whereas Amelie of the Sea's factory is like very creative and has like really nice looking buildings and cool train situations. But those are just a few. Like I love Let's Game It Out, Josh's factories as well.
I was wondering
The
if you were going to
weave.
say Let's Game It Out.
Yeah.
The weave, the tornado with the
Yeah.
nuclear power plant on the side. Yeah.
The new tornado he made on stream.
Yes. The cannons. The man
Yeah,
cannons.
yeah. Like there's a lot of nice factories, and also like really creative ones that aren't like even factories. Like Blastroid, who's another streamer. He makes like mini games in the game, where it's not a
that's
factory,
clever.
but it's just like you can play darts kind of with your character, and
That's
it's
amazing.
really creative too. So like, I don't know. Those are just a few examples. I'm not saying those are my favorites. Because it's really like there's a few probably that I'm thinking of either, but it's really hard to pick because there's so much cool stuff that people have built.
You can never choose your favourites.
No, it's really difficult because they're all different. Also,
That's fair enough. So,
What about in any of
Go on.
your factories? Like, is there anything that you've built and you're like, yeah, I like that?
I really like my new coal factory that I built for the trailer that we're releasing on launch day. That is probably my favorite coal factory I've ever built, where it's like on top of, it's 100% efficient. It's on top of, like, it's on a platform, and I'm only using one pump because I'm using the water tower trick, and I've never done that up to this point. I just love how that turned out. But that's just a small. That's the only thing it does in that save file. It's just that factory because the trailer work is very random.
Yeah, it
I
must
don't
be
know. I never
interesting.
feel satisfied when I make anything because I always feel like, this could be cooler.
Start again. Make it
Yeah.
cooler. Make every
The
time.
thing-
Just on that, actually, is there any like illegal building techniques that you could share? You know, like Lego's got illegal techniques and stuff. Is there any satisfactory ones?
I would say that there are no illegal building techniques. The reason why we're like so lenient on clipping in the game is because we kind of want to see people figure out weird ways to build stuff. Because you know how like sometimes you can make constellations depending on what order you build things. So like if you place a pipe first and then the wall around it, you can make really tight corners with the pipes that weren't like necessarily
Yeah.
something
Oh,
we
nice.
anticipated. And
Same
we've
with
left
conveyor
that.
belts.
Yeah,
But a
exactly. Like
wall
you can build.
If you do the wall first, then the conveyor, you can
Yeah.
get around. You can get around the edges.
Yeah, stuff like that, and that is 100% of like the implementation is just a bit finicky. But we've left it intentionally like that just because we want people to be able to build however they want. Because if people are annoyed by the fact that their conveyor belts clip, they won't build like that. It's not ruining the game by the fact that it's clipping. You know, from our perspective, you know that people would cheat if they could clip belts like that. So it's more creativity, like more creativity on you for being able to do stuff like that. There's a line, of course, we have to draw somewhere where like there needs to be a recent amount of logic to the game, but we try to be fairly lenient towards having players build however they want.
Yeah, it's sort of just letting people have fun, do it their way, and that gets you more people playing, doesn't it? End of the day.
Yeah.
So.
I'm not even sure how, but some people manage to get the train to go underground, haven't they? And then clip
Yeah.
underneath the map.
Yeah, because it doesn't
and then
clip
reach
everywhere.
max speed, yeah.
Yeah.
And but with like track as well, isn't it? On the
Yeah, and
on
if people are
foundations under the map. Yeah.
and if you want to do that, then sure, do it. Like, why or who are we to tell you what's fun or not?
That's a really good idea. I really like that approach. You supply the tools and let people find out the fun.
Yeah,
that's really good.
I don't think
So-
many of mine clip.
I need to work on it, Ryan.
Not purposefully like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like people that care about that stuff, they won't build like that. And people that like Josh from Let's Game It Out, he'll be like, "Oh, sweet! I could build the dumbest shit ever." Like it just makes it more inclusive in that sense.
Isn't it?
Yeah, go on,
I
Ryan.
I think he made one thing that took. It was like 20 minutes for the ore to reach its destination, just because it was weaving.
Yeah. Why not?
20 minutes, yeah.
That sounds really good. So, I've got a very quick question that's not Satisfactory related. But if you could work on any famous video game franchise, which would it be?
Ooh, this is something that me and another colleague of mine talk about a lot because a lot of games that like are a lot of fun, they're probably horrible to work on. So Rocket League is one example. Like I would never want to work on Rocket League because it seems like at this point the only thing you really you'd have to do is manage stuff with that game. You can't really like do anything with it at this time. But it's a really good game. Like I love that game to death. But there are a few games that I would love to have worked on. Like a Metroidvania game at all. Like it would be fun.
Yeah.
Like not
Those
necessarily
games
Super
would be fun.
Metroid, but like those type of games are so much fun to make. And Celeste also seemed like a game that would be so much fun working on.
That got a lot of sort of attention, didn't it, for
Yeah,
how it was developed and stuff. So yeah, definitely.
yeah. Yeah, I think those would be my picks. I can't think of a game off the top of my head right now.
think
Because
for
like
me,
it's the same thing like Hitman, same thing. It's a really good game and I love it to bits, but I don't think it would be fun working on it because it seems like it's just systems. And it's probably like a house of cards. Like everything falls apart once you pick at it too much, and it's just like hard to develop on.
Yeah, because it's such a balance, I suppose, isn't it, to try and get
Yeah.
it all of how do you like it. I was thinking the same for like Red Dead, just so I could talk like a cowboy all the time. Hey there, mister! But that's all I'd do. I'd be useless. They'd sack me in a week.
Because there's another
Could be worth
perspective
it.
too. Like AAA games, like they're huge. Like even Satisfactory is a huge game. Like you don't have that much influence over the entire game. Like if you work as a programmer on a game, you might just touch like one UI system, and that's all you work on. Or like
for many years.
yeah, like I knew a guy who worked on Need for Speed, the ones that were published by Ghosts. Yeah, Ghost. All he did was work on like UI for the wheels or something like that, and he made UI systems for the artists and stuff like that. But that's all he did. He just worked on one aspect of the UI. Didn't even like design it or anything. He just worked on the system for it, and that was all he did for like 2 years.
That's crazy. There's so many people working on the same thing, but they never cross paths almost.
Yeah, and that happens even on Satisfactory. Like, even though we're only like 25 or 30 people or something like that, there's still like systems that I never see when I worked on it. And like stuff happens where like, oh shit, this is in the game now. What the fuck? I didn't know that.
Where did that come from? Yeah, I know what you mean. That's crazy though, isn't it? It's like just so many different ideas that you only ever see come together at the very end, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, to end with, I believe Stu has some questions for you to round us out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not particularly. What's the weirdest or funniest like Rule 34 that you've seen come out of the community?
Oh.
Yeah, these are Stu questions.
Next question. Holy shit. I don't want to talk about it.
that is a valid answer.
There's some weird art with the lizard doggo that.
Oh, wow.
It's like
more towards the pioneer, not the lizard dog.
Yeah, well, like all the power to the artists. Like, it's both like flattering, but also.
It's like, thanks, but I'm not going to put it on my fridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god. It's always fun to see if Stu actually goes through with these questions. He normally does. I don't know why it surprises me, but yeah. Anything else you want to ask, Stu?
No, well, no. We'll leave it that one.
It's not everyday Stu Bale, so we don't.
How do we top on that?
I don't think we can. or how do we go any lower? Depends on how you look at it, I suppose.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I believe if you guys are happy having completed our interrogation, that's it.
Nice.
For questions.
I survived.
You did survive. Wait, did you survive? Are you sure?
I feel pretty good.
You might be in purgatory right now. You won't know until you...
Yeah. I feel confident that I'm alive.
That's good. That's the best we can hope for, having guested on our podcast. So, no, but thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, thanks for having me.
And we've learned a lot about the industry from you as well. So I feel educated today.
Nice. I love that.
All of Ryan's pent-up Satisfactory excitement. He finally got to talk about it.
Yeah. That's just tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, you wait. You wait until he comes down to Gothenburg for more information.
This could have gone a different way if we did this interview after Update 4 of my whole factory.
I mean, that's possible.
Come and see my factory. Come and see my factory.
I very nearly had to start again from Update 3, but when I realised some of the stuff I already had was locked again behind the MAM, by the time I'd unlocked it started working again. So slowly but surely, I had to box off different areas to get it all to work. Yeah. Other than that, I was going to leave it in the distance on the horizon and just start another base in the corner somewhere else.
Like your derelict.
Just a derelict abandoned factory in the corner.
I like that though. I really like.
Have you played like all the tiers, or how far into the game are you?
I'm waiting for Update 4, basically.
Okay, so you're
nuclear
past.
power, everything's done. One save is 260 something hours of like everything, and then the other one is about 40-ish, where I've just unlocked fuel power on oil.
Nice.
And a fuel generator.
Because I talked to some people that are like, yeah, I have like 1,000 hours in Satisfactory, and they're like at tier 5 or tier 6, because just they take so much time like finessing and fixing the factory. So like some people have so many hours and they're not even at tier 7 yet. But I think you're gonna like the tier 7 changes. I really like them. Some of the setups for some of the late tier production lines are just so much more fun to set up right now than they were. Like in the previous version, there was so many refineries, and not so much right now. This is good times.
There you go, then, Ryan.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
New challenge, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to people seeing update 4, because I think, especially for the late tier part of the game, it's a lot of fun.
So we would say, for God's sakes, listeners, if you've not got Satisfactory, get it already and get playing.
Get it on Epic Games. Don't get it on Steam.
Yeah. They need to sell more than 9 copies.
Yeah.
Well then, this has been an educational journey. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
If you want to round yourself out, Snoot, tell us where they can find you and where they can find
All right.
and everything else.
You can find me on Twitter mostly under my very beautiful Twitter handle, Bust a Snutt. That I didn't come up with that. That was someone in our Discord that just like, Bust a Snutt. I just thought that was so funny, so I had to change it.
It makes sense.
Yeah. I also have a YouTube channel where I interview other game developers. It's a little bit of a hiatus right now because of COVID, but as soon as travel is okay again, I'm going to kick that off again, where I interview other unsung heroes in the game development industry and talk about that stuff. And that channel is called the Game Dev Circle on YouTube. And yeah, Satisfactory, yeah. And I guess Satisfactory, you can Google Satisfactory and you'll find Satisfactory.
Yeah. Find it on Epic Store.
Yeah. Epic Store, the best one.
Yeah. All right then. Brilliant. Yeah. Cheers for that. That was really good.
Thank you very much.
It's always really exciting when we get guests on, because for some reason I'm always really nervous. Like, oh my god, what if I say something stupid? What if they hate me? Means I can relax now.
What if I ask something about Rule 34?
I'll make Stu do that. It's fine.
Oh, nice. It's nice when you have like a scapegoat or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what Jason's to me.
Yeah. I can tell in the videos, to be fair.
It's like if I fuck up, I can just blame Jace. It's like, it's Jace's fault.
Or the mustache emoji. I saw as well.
Yeah.
I saw that haunts you quite a bit.
I never approve of that, by the way.
That's the worst kind.
Yeah. No, it's funny.
It's kind of like when Stu ats me on really weird things on Twitter, like, hey, look at this. It's like, oh, please don't. Like an embarrassing, like your embarrassing friend in high school. It's like, I'm trying to like promote my writing and stuff, and there's Stu going, hey, look at this mushroom. It looks well funny, doesn't it? Hey! So, for God's sake, Stu.
This mushroom looks like your penis.
Yeah, exactly. Can't take him anywhere. Can't take him. Say you never take him to like a society dinner or anything. It would be a bad idea.
Who wants to go to that, anyways?
Nah, exactly. Boring, right? Boring, definitely. Oh god, say I'm exhausted now. Interviewing's hard work.
Cool. I just woke up.
so I think Ryan did too.
Nice. It's the only way to live.
Is he gone? Where's he gone?
I don't know. He's talked about Satisfactory now. He's done. He's like, I'm done now.
No, sorry. I was talking to myself. It was on mute.
Classic.
Yeah, that's how tired I am. I was up until 4:30 this morning.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Good times.
I wasn't. I went to bed at 11. But then I woke up at 6 a.m. because I really wanted to play on Red Dead 2. So that's all I've done. I was being a cowboy at 6:10 this morning.
Living the dream.
I'm a bit addicted. I'm a bit addicted to Red Dead again. It's terrible. It's riding around going, hey there, boy!
Story.
So yeah, I'll just go, just a single player.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried the online once and I was rubbish at it. Like
Yeah, I've
all I
never-
wanted to do was just want to go hunting, but people kept shooting me. It's like leave me alone, so I just quit.
Yeah, I've never understood Rockstar Online games. It's
No, I think Stu played.
It feels like it's pay to win.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're the free
it
player.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Well, it's 'cause
And
it
there's
is,
no
I guess,
pay to
yeah.
win. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's GTA. You've got those credit cards, haven't you? Like, you have to buy as like a pretty much real credit card for GTA 5. It's like, what the hell, man? Why would you?
Yeah, and it's gold on Red Dead Online, though, isn't it? Oh,
Yeah.
I've got my gold bar or silver bar, whatever it is.
Ugh, and there's no. The worst thing is there's no Arthur Morgan. So what would be the point?
What is
Arthur
what
Morgan's
is the
the
point
best.
then? Yeah.
Arthur Morgan's my best friend in computer games and real life.
Arthur
Love
Morgan
it.
is probably my favorite character in any video game.
Yeah, he's amazing. I definitely agree with you. He has such a nice story until the end.
I'm
But
glad
it's
that I
such a
finished that game. That game was too long, but I'm glad I finished it.
huge,
Like
yeah.
I remember when I have you am I a spoiler? Can I talk spoilers?
No, I think it's safe to spoil. I think you finished it, Ryan, haven't you?
Yeah, finished it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I don't. It's not a spoiler, but it's like I remember when I played, I thought I finished the game, and then there was like the epilogue, and it was like another 4 hours, and I was like,
Yeah.
no, I just want to finish it because it was like
Arthur's
50 hours
gone.
for me to get it through. The,
Yeah, I
the
was like,
story.
Arthur's gone now. Why do I have to be John?
Yeah, I lost interest at that point. It's like, I don't want to be John. John's rubbish.
Yeah, you never go back
Like
to
John. I did finish it. My playthrough was 140 hours because I proper took my time. I spent most of my days hunting.
Yeah.
So at some point,
Stalking
I'm just
deer.
like, I just gotta get through the story, and I did nothing but the missions, and it was still like so many hours.
It's just Dutch for hours going, I just need more time, Arthur.
Yeah.
Bloody Dutch. I would have abandoned him long before Arthur did, to be fair.
Yeah.
The guy's useless. I did like his hat, though. Oh, man. Yeah, I think I'll probably be going back to that this afternoon as well. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll come into work tomorrow like, hey there, boys! Just having totally become Arthur Morgan.
That's a good sign.
Right, we should do it. But fair enough, yeah. Say, this has been an emotional journey. Thanks for coming along. It's really good
for having me.
to actually have someone who works in the industry on. I think you're our first industry guest, actually. Is that right, guys?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Because Emmett's more sort of a YouTuber, isn't he? So.
I popped the cherry.
Yeah, man. You've popped Shart selects cherry. There's no going back. This just means that we will pester you forever on Twitter from this day forth.
That's not
Yeah.
any different than
No.
what it's already like.
I didn't pester you that much. Come on.
No, I meant no. I wasn't talking
God,
specifically
Ryan.
about you.
He's got a restrainer order.
I barely didn't even see your DM.
Didn't see Ryan slide in there.
No,
Yeah.
I slid in and I got no response. It hurt. I'm not gonna lie.
This is for Ryan's ego again, that is. He's used to people dropping everything for him, I'm sorry.
Putting his face in front of cars and stuff.
Yeah, put my face on your Twitter profile. No, Ryan.
Why isn't he responding? What the fuck?
Do you not love me?
I demand my face on the wheels of these vehicles.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh my god.
If you clip into the Pioneer's helmet somehow, inside it's just gonna be my face.
What if I told you there is sort of like that somewhere in the game?
Ooh,
If you can
go on,
clip
Ryan. Get
into
looking.
something, there's a face somewhere.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we already thought of that.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
I know, I'll be clipping everywhere. Trying to find it now.
I found the face. It's me. Says Ryan. A few weeks from now, when everything in the new patch has Ryan's face inside it.
That's hot.
Well, it is hot. You're not wrong. He's got a handsome face. That's Ryan.
All right, I got to bounce.
Right, then.
Is there anything
Yeah.
else that you need from
I
me?
believe
or-
no. I believe it. I say as long as you feel that you've done your promotional bits as well, we're all good.
Cool.
Excellent. Say thanks again, and maybe we'll pester you again sometime. You never know.
Nice. All right.
Unless you're going to one of those restraining orders out on Ryan?
No, not at the moment. We'll see after update 4.
Yeah, good plan. Good plan.
Yeah, no, we're all good. Cool.
All right, fair enough.
Thanks for having me.
We shall.
Right.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
thanks
Catch you later.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
No,
So,
bye now.
Bye.
Bye. If you enjoy what we do, then please subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, Cephalopod, or whatever other podcast service you use in order to help us reach more people. If you really enjoy what we do and would like to check out our extra drip tray episodes, considered too extreme for the regular podcast by scholars, then why not join our Patreon at www.patreon.com/ShartSelect. We also have a Discord group there where you can chat with ourselves and other fans. Finally, we can be reached on Twitter and all other socials should you want to suggest content or just have a lovely chat. Just search for Shart Select Pod. All right? I believe that's it.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, bye. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, bye. Yeah, bye. Yeah, bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
You're going to bye.
Yeah, bye.
Well, to ruin everything.
No, he's saying bye. Bye, bye, bye in the background. That's what he's saying. Yeah, bye.
I'm saying goodbye.
Yeah, bye. Can we stop buying that? I can't stop.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. Bye, stop it. I'm stuck in a loop. Yeah, bye, stop it. Right, that's it now. No more yeah, bye. Good enough. That was good, wasn't it? Stop it.